Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request from TeamPin. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, full playthrough, tier list, ranking, movie review, re-review, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And TeamPin wanted me to look at Daredevil, the theatrical cut, and the director's cut. And the way I looked at it, why the director's cut is way better. Now, before I go on, I have always enjoyed the 2003 Daredevil film. I'm trying to see if I have it on DVD over here, because I thought I did, but I can't remember now. But yeah, I've always enjoyed Daredevil. I never hated it like other people did. I saw it in the theater, actually. I did see Daredevil in the theater in 2003. Had a good time. I liked it more than Spider-Man. I know that's going to get people's feathers ruffled, but yes, Daredevil I liked more than the Spider-Man movies that Sam Raimi did. I just did. I liked Ben Affleck more than Tobey Maguire. I liked his performance as Matt Murdock more than Tobey did with Spider-Man Peter Parker. Jennifer Garner I could deal with more than Kirsten Dunst. It tried to have a little bit of a darker feel, even in the theatrical cut. I like the soundtrack. I mean, I don't mind Chad Kroeger, hero to save us, but I like the soundtrack in Daredevil. I had the CD. I like Colin Farrell as Bullseye. Michael Clark Duncan as Kingpin. I thought it was intimidating and big and badass. Yes, I know Kingpin is white in the comics, but I thought Michael Clark Duncan, man, he had the size, he had the presence, he had the look, he had the intimidation factor. I was fine with him being Kingpin. I thought he did a really good job. And I thought the action scenes, yeah, the CGI, which I like to say that for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, the CGI isn't that great. But they were of their time. They were of their time. Although, even back then, I don't know if they were that great, to be honest. No, they weren't that great back then. But yeah, I've always enjoyed the film. The theatrical cut was more of a love story between Ben Affleck, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, and Jennifer Garner's Elektra. I don't know when I heard about the director's cut. I just honestly, when there was talk of it coming out on DVD, and I went, I'm curious because I like the film, and I'm curious. Okay, what's different in this director's cut? I'm always curious if it's a film I like. I'm always intrigued by a different cut of the film. Even to this day, I mean, I See You, also known as Detox with Stallone. I have the Blu-ray there, which thankfully I was able to find on eBay, which has a longer cut of the film. And I'm always curious as to what is added and what was changed. And I can't remember how I first saw the director's cut. I know at one point it was part of this box set where it had very slim DVD cases. It had the two Fantastic Four films. I think it had Elektra. It had this Marvel DVD that I think had some comics or stuff on it. And then Daredevil director's cut. And I watched it and I went, man, this is, I really enjoyed the theatrical. This is so much better. So much better. It keeps the stuff from the original. The setup. Daredevil, Matt Murdock as a kid. Going blind. His dad, the boxer, played by David Keith, who I do like as an actor. Him getting killed. The training bits of him learning his powers. And yeah, I like a lot of the songs throughout the films. Changing. There's Bring Me to Life by Evanescence. And also, was it My Immortal? The one during the funeral bit by Evanescence. There's the Rob Zombie, I'm the man without fear. Daredevil. Daredevil. I listened to that CD quite a bit back in the day. But for what I remember, the director's cut, the songs are still there. It is a longer film. It's about 30 or so minutes longer. I didn't really feel a lot of detraction, a lot of stuff that was cut out. It was stuff added that made it a better structure and made scenes flow a bit better. One thing with the director's cut was the fight scenes. The fight scenes had a little bit more to them, a little bit more flow to them, and wasn't as cut up a bit. Like when he fights Kingpin, Daredevil gets more punches and more hits against Kingpin, which is nice. So it doesn't feel as much of a one-sided ass-kicking contest. So Daredevil was able to get more punches and stuff in there. The first bit in the bar with the pool table, the fight scenes, he's able to do a few more punches, a few more moves that for some reason, apparently too much means you get an R rating, which is totally ridiculous. I liked in the director's cut when the pool table's on fire in the theatrical, he just to the side watching. But in the director's cut, he actually gets on top of the pool table on fire and then kneels and goes, "Time to give the devil his due." I love that bit. I thought that was a cool bit, and I don't know why they took that out in the first place. I don't think this is in the theatrical. When he finds the bad guy, which is Paul Ben Victor, he played Moe in the Three Stooges TV movie back in the 2000s that I think Mel Gibson produced. But he played Moe. He had a bit part in Body Parts, this 90s film with Jeff Fahey. The guy has a gun on Daredevil and goes, "Go to hell." And he goes, "Okay, but you'll beat me there." I don't think that was in... I could be wrong, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that was in the theatrical. I think that was in only the director's cut. There's more added scenes between Ben Affleck and Jon Favreau, them talking, which is great because they have good rapport with each other, they have good chemistry with each other. I thought they both worked well. How come you always have those cuts on that face of yours? Well, I'm in Fight Club, and you know what they say. You don't talk about Fight Club. So there's more funny dialogue exchanges between Jon Favreau and Ben Affleck. And again, I think they have great chemistry together. And I don't hate Ben Affleck. A lot of people hate Ben Affleck. I do not hate Ben Affleck. I never have. I saw him in Mallrats and Chasing Amy back in the day. I thought he was good in those. I liked him in... I could watch Phantoms, because he's the bomb in Phantoms, yo. I like the film Paycheck. Armageddon, I thought he did fine in Armageddon. I don't love the movie, but I thought he did fine in the movie. Pearl Harbor... yeah. Tries very hard to be Titanic. And I'm not even that much of a fan of Titanic. But Sum of All Fears, okay, I thought that film sucked ass, to be honest. I think that's a shitty fucking film. Just go watch Clear and Present Danger instead. Oh, it's funny. On YouTube, look up the Sum of All Fears commentary. And the guy who wrote the novels, he shits all over the movie. And I think the director's right next to him. It's like, well, that's stupid. Or, no, he wouldn't do that. Or, this is just bullshit. It's the funniest fucking thing. Just like Ben Affleck when he does commentary for Armageddon. Which I wish he did for the entire movie. But it's just all the snippets of him. It's the funniest fucking thing. But yeah, look up the Sum of All Fears. Actually, let me look that up real quick. Because I know it's off tangent, but... The Sum of All Fears... commentary. Like there's a bit called The Point of Stealth. Tom Clancy from the Symbol of Fierce commentary. Yeah, damn, they don't have the other bits of it, but yeah, if you look up The Point of Stealth by Servo Moore, Servomoore. The point, it's about 31 seconds. It was just really fun. Sorry, going off tangent, but I just had to mention that. But yeah, I've always liked Ben Affleck. Never hated him. And I thought he did a good job. Jon Favreau did a good job. Jennifer Garner was there. If there's a least favorite actor, it'd be Jennifer Garner, but she's there as Elektra. I think she does better here than in her own film, Elektra. Like I said, Michael Clark Duncan, Colin Farrell, they did a really good job. You get to see more intensity from the team band. There's a bit where he breaks one of his guards' necks because he's pissed off at them. While the theatrical was more of a love story, the director's cut is more of Matt Murdock as a lawyer. I thought that really showed more of his character as Daredevil. He has this sarcophagus thing that he has to use to sleep so that all the noise is drowned out, but before he does, there's this bit that was down the theatrical where the camera kind of shifts over here and we see this woman kind of on the ground and as if he's hearing that, but there's like not much he could do. And that's part of the thing he's going to be investigating later, in which it's a case with Coolio. Rest in peace, Coolio. But they go to his apartment, they investigate on that, and it's much more of this, how they work as a lawyer, as a team, and go into the investigation, which to me was much more fascinating on how he works as a lawyer than this kind of love story that they already had that kind of stuff in Spider-Man with Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Another very big change. There's a bit where Daredevil and Elektra, Matt Murdock and Jennifer, they're together in the rain. In the theatrical, he hears someone is crying out, but goes to sleep with Jennifer Garner, which does feel like a very selfish move. Very selfish gesture. Here, I thought it was much more in tune with Daredevil. It was much more... It was a lot less annoying. A lot less out of character. And he hears someone's in trouble. He can't have any hanky-panky. Goes in to try to help out. I thought that was just much better with the character. There's another bit I like that they added in where part of the investigation, there's this guy who he needs to talk, and he's Matt Murdock. He's blind, so he gets the car and he just goes back and forth like a demolition derby, and the guy's like, "What are you doing?" I don't know. From the way I look, for what I see, seems like I'm doing fine. Don't tell me anything. And he's going back and forth, fucked up the car more and more. I thought that was a very fun scene. I think I'm sitting there going, why was this shit cut out? Because they wanted to have the Spider-Man stuff. They wanted to have the Spider-Man love story with Peter Parker and Mary Jane. They wanted that. That's what, the film came out on Valentine's Day. They wanted more of the love story aspect. It's Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. Here's two pretty people, and people don't take their couple. The couple's going to see this. The guys are going to see it for the action. The girls are going to see it for the romance. I'm sure that was their mentality. And it did decent at the box office. It was the Spider-Man numbers. Remember it doing decent. But, there was no sequel. So it wasn't two game busters. Unless you want to count Elektra a spinoff. So yeah, I like there's more Joel Pantoliano as an investigator, like a reporter, I should say, looking into what's going on. You get more Joel Pantoliano, you get more Jon Favreau, two good actors. More of them, the better. And it's more about him as a lawyer and him as a character, just much more of a better pace. A film that you do take more seriously. Yes, the CGI is still really iffy. It was back then. It's even more so when you look at it now. I would say that's the main drawback is the CGI. When Colin Farrell's bullseye like grabs all the glass stuff and but I do like his character. I like the idea that he takes his peanut and chokes an old woman with it. Yes, in this he does say, I want a fucking costume. Because in the theatrical, I want a bloody costume. But you could tell that was dubbed. Or at least, maybe they did a, maybe they did one for just in case. So maybe not dubbed. So, okay, it wasn't dubbed. But it didn't sound right. Here, I thought it sounded right. It sounded better. When Bullseye's fighting Elektra, you see a little bit more of putting the Psy into her, so you understand a bit more as to what he's doing to her. So you get these little bits added that make it feel a little bit more intense. And to me, just an all-out better movie. I can't think of anything that the theatrical cut did that was better. I do think if they had put this out there, this director's cut, I don't know if the film would have been as trashed as it ended up being. I really don't. I mean, I never thought the film was that bad to begin with, but I think even it'd be, to me, again, it's better in every way, every fashion. So there you go. But I mean, this isn't a review of the film. It just be him wanting me to compare the two. But like I said, if you only saw the theatrical cut of Daredevil and you didn't like the film, I would recommend the director's cut. It is 30 minutes longer. I think they add things that make the story make a bit more sense, that make things flow a bit better, that makes the action scenes flow a little bit better. You see a little bit more of the choreography. You see a little bit more of the intensity of the villains, including Kingpin. Daredevil gets to fight more of Kingpin at the end. You get more of him as a character, him as a lawyer, which is a bit more of an afterthought in the theatrical cut. I don't think the love story was that great of a part in the film. Like, even I can admit, the playground scene is goofy. When it's clearly wire work and they're balancing on the stuff and... I mean, it doesn't make me mad like other people do. I can watch it and be like, okay, it is what it is. But you can clearly tell they're on wires and doing all this stuff. And again, it's not my favorite scene. I could watch it, but I mean, would I be mad if it was taken out? No. But it is what it is. I mean, it didn't make me mad either. But do I think it's silly? Yes. But yeah, this film, I mean, think of like the past 10 Marvel movies. This is better than any of them. I really do believe that. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And thanks once again, Kingpin. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.